All right, guys. Well, here we are. It is middle of the night. I don't know what's up with me, but I've been pooping a little bit above regular tonight, way above. Say if I normally poop once a day, I'd probably poop 9 times tonight. And then I'm like, "Hey, Karina, you want to fuck?" And she's like, "Yeah, your ass stinks." I'm like, "All right." So here I am. Working on the Mickey Avalon book tonight and working on proposals to try to get money for the documentary. So those are like kind of extracurricular things that I have going on. Do a wasting talent video because we haven't done one for a while. And I have a lot of catching up to do this month. Just been like, weird time period for me, but feel good. I'm in a good mood. I'm not like depressed. I haven't cut my dick off and sent it to any relatives lately, but not to say that I won't. Oh my God, every time I do a video, like my neck doesn't even crack until like the camera's recording and then it's just like, do it, do the thing. They like it when you do that. Oof. And they're always like really bad. Like that sounds like I need a chiropractor, huh? All right, so I don't know how this series is really shaping up because sometimes I go off on like stories that some of this stuff was based off of, and then sometimes I read out of the book. Sometimes I read out of the book to kind of like, I don't know, just remind me of like what the purpose of me putting it in the book was in the first place. There's 21 chapters in the book, so we're on to chapter 9 right now. And if you remember the last chapter was about the rave that I'd gone to with Blair. Now, again, Blair is not based off of one girl in particular. A lot of the cocaine psychosis that comes later in the book is definitely Kate, all of my girlfriends, pretty much always, really. I mean, there's been a couple rehab romances, but like any of my long-term girlfriends have always been girls that have like wanted to get me off heroin. A couple dudes too. He's like, "Yo, I'm Todd. Pretty much give you anything you want if you kick for me, bro." I'm like, "Oh, all right. Let's go to a Dodgers game. All right, kick." People ask me all the time who Blair is because I don't know, they assume that she's based off one person, I think. I mean, there's people that think that it's a memoir, that like all of this happened. And most of the things that happen in the book are based off of things that actually happened to me, but it's just like a collage of different crazy life experiences that I had. This particular chapter, if you remember, I know it's been a while since we've done a Wasting Talent video. We'd gone to a rave, and like one of the problems that Damien, who's me, has in the book is that Sass, who's the bad guy, is in love with Blair, and he's like always being a cock block. Now, I don't know how much I've gone into different girl. Oh shit! You see that hair? I gotta get that. I've been doing that like every video. I'm like plucking my eyebrows. People are like, "Whoa, he's on meth." Pretty much every time I was at rehab, there was a cock block, And so if Blair represents a bunch of different girls that I've dated, Sass kind of represents all the cock blocks, and he also represents my Molly dealer. My Molly dealer in real life, the real Sass, who I've known for a long time is on the $20 tier, was a short, ugly dude. In Wasting Talent, I make Sass like some hot guy with abs and like dreadlocks. I was like, he needs dreads. When I'd be at rehab, I wasn't the best looking guy in the world. But one thing that I think was the reason that girls were into me at rehab was because I was so, I don't know, blatantly zero fucks given, And when you're in rehab, you're with a bunch of damaged women. They're like, "Watch, my arm comes off. Check this out. Hit it against my own head. Yeah, fuck, it hurt. Let's have sex now. And then do push-ups. Fuck it." And so when like you're a guy that will go up to a girl and you just don't care, you don't care what other people think, because everybody in rehab, truth be told, is really insecure. Some people might act confident. That was me. You know, I acted like I was confident. I acted like I wasn't scared of anything. But truth be told, I was probably like one of the most insecure people to ever walk through any rehab door. I mean, I was always bad. I'm over analytical. I always get inside my own head. I hate when people don't like me. It's really hot in here. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Whew. And the heater's on because Karina's sleeping, and I don't want her to hear me talk about butt fucking. She's like, if I hear one more goddamn butt fucking thing, I'm done. But when the heater's on, it's like super, super hot in here. So there's a couple girls that this particular chapter is based off of, and I don't know how in depth I've gone into it before, but it has to do with cock blocks and it has to do with girls that I've met at rehabs. When I first got sent away, not sent away, when I first went to rehab in Florida, this is like kind of what precipitated the Mike Virgin incident. When I was crawling around on my hands and knees on the sidewalk looking for drugs because I was convinced that somebody had dropped some. I'm like, yeah, someone's dropped heroin. I'm going to find it. Fuck it. Meth psychosis. Just remember, Alex had given me 2 ounces of meth. He was supposed to give me 2 ounces of heroin. I was a heroin addict. I wasn't used to doing meth. I shot meth for like a week. I watched lesbian porn with my stripper friend Brittany, and we licked each other's assholes. She's married to like a stockbroker now. I see her, she like posts pictures of her like tanning with cucumber slices on her fucking eyes. I'm like, damn, if that dude only knew. So I called the rehab and basically, remember, some black chick answered and she's like, I can't do the voice right now. She's like, hey honey, I understand. I used to smoke crack rock for 15 fucking years in a row. And now I don't. Because my family coughed up $55,000 for rehab. No, she was trying to get me to pay with insurance. And then my parents ultimately had to pay out of pocket. It's $500 a day for this place. And when I went out there, there was definitely an entitlement problem, right? It was my first time in rehab, so I don't know, you know? I was so used to being treated badly. You know, I'd been in and out of jail at that point. I'd already caught a domestic with Kate, so I was in and out of Santa Barbara County Jail. I wasn't used to staff kissing my ass, and that's like what they did. Oh, we're sorry, sir. We didn't mean to offend you. That's how they are when you first get there. Of course, you know, you can wear your welcome thin, and they don't always treat you like that. Eventually, I became a problem child there, and they didn't treat me nice anymore. But because they were nice initially, I thought I could get away with murder. And I did. And I definitely did like a lot of attention-seeking behavior, you know? I was like, watch, I'm going to throw this apple at the fucking wall, make a hole. Make the staff clean it up. I was like a spoiled little brat. So, because of that, a lot of people didn't like me. I have like one of those polarizing personalities. People are like, that guy's funny. I like that guy. And then people are like, that guy's a little bitch. He's just always trying to be a show-off and always trying to get attention. That's what kind of guy I was. There was a girl there named Shannon. And she was brunette. She was, well, no, that wasn't her name. Her name was Christina. Sorry. Shannon was way, way later. Her name was Christina. That's her real name. And she was from Texas. And she was not super hot or anything. But she wasn't bad, you know? And my standards, like, went way, way downhill shortly thereafter. But I was still kind of picky at that point. And she was like, whatever. You know, she wasn't like stunning enough where I was intimidated by her at all. And she would sit outside and she would smoke cigarettes with me. And that's what would happen. You know, when you're in rehab, groups of people congregate and you sit around smoking cigarettes, you tell jokes, you tell war stories, and that's that. Chain smoke cigarettes. And I was like, yeah, I don't like girls that suck my dick. And she's like, well, that's funny because that's what I do. I suck dick. I was like, well, I hear a lot of talking. I don't see a lot of doing. She's like, I'll do it right now. I was like, no, you won't. She's like, yeah, I will. I was like, well, let's go into the staff bathroom then. What up? And I like said, what up? And then I like breathed on her. I thought I was being like sexy. I was like, oh. Like cigarette methadone breath. And she takes me to the staff bathroom. She gives me a blowjob. And I'm holding on to the handicap rails. It was very cinematic. I felt like I was in like some like rom-com or something. I was like, yeah, spring break. And then all of a sudden the door opens and this girl, I remember the staff's name. Her name was Lisa. This blonde girl. Catches me. And she's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, it's not what it looks like. We were just talking about group stuff. She's like, no. She's giving you a blowjob right now. I see it. I'm going to put it on my clipboard. You guys are busted. I was like, well, can we at least finish? She's like, no, get out of there. So we end up getting caught by the staff named Lisa. And we leave the bathroom. And that's the kind of personality that I was talking about, that I'm trying to illustrate that I was like at this place. A couple days later, so this is what happens, of course, and this is what's unfair with society. And I agree, like, I'm not being sarcastic, but it's kind of fucked up how in a situation like that, the guy will get rewarded. You get like a fruit basket, like here you go. There's homemade brownies in there. Yeah, my aunt made them. She sent them, but we put them in the fruit baskets. Everybody's like giving you a high five, but if you're the girl, you're a whore. Girls like throw stones at you and shit, and you get burned at the stake like you're in the Salem witch trials. And that's what had happened. You know, all the guys thought it was cool that I did that. Like, yeah, man. It's all whores are good for, sucking dick. And then all the girls were like, you're a whore. Sleep outside tonight, Christina. She's like, oh my God. So they were being mean to her. Guys were being nice to me. I was kind of inflated by the fact that I got all that attention and that I had the staff being nice to me for once in my life. I've been a drug addict at that point. I was 19 years old. I'd been like a heavy drug addict for like 4 years already. And I wasn't used to getting away with things, you know? But because this was such a high-end rehab, they kind of just let me do what I want in the beginning, like I said. So Christina and I got put on, you know, generally at rehab when something like that happens, they put you on like a separatees. They separate you, like on a contract where you're not allowed to talk to the person. And she came up to me, she's like, I don't care about the contract. I need to talk to you now. The girls are making fun of me. They said you just used me for a blowjob. I was like, really? That's weird. I didn't just tell you to suck my dick in the staff bathroom and then you did it. I'm sorry, that sucks. That's weird that they're saying that. She's like, I want to go. I can't be here anymore. I want to get high. I want to use. Now I'm like a bottom of the barrel dope fiend. I'm not going to say no to that. I'm like, it's a great idea. Let's leave. Fuck it. Yeah, I don't want to be here either. I want to get high. I want to get high and have sex. Fuck it, let's do this. She's like, oh, I knew it. I knew you really liked me. Okay, cool. I'm going to go pack my shit. I'll meet you down here in like an hour. She was like back down in 5 minutes. She was like already prepared to go. I didn't pack any bags. I just left. She had like these suitcases and shit. And I tried to tell her, I was like, look, I'm going to be lugging these around humid ass Florida. Bunch of old people and bugs everywhere. Luggage just doesn't go with that. She's like, fine. We like threw it in a bush. So now we're walking down the street. We're leaving this rehab. And we end up getting to a gas station. It was one of those gas stations that had a bathroom outside. And she's like, do you want a bone? I was like, yeah. So we go in the bathroom. And we do it. And this is the thing, okay? Beer goggles are real. You know, you have a few too many drinks. You're talking to Chewbacca. You think they're Cindy Crawford. It happens. Rehab goggles are worse. She like materialized into a broom. I was like, do you talk? And just like falls over. She looked horrible when I left. I mean, she didn't look good. It was weird. I mean, it was the same lighting, the same shit, but like once I was out of there, I just didn't have that desperation fueling me anymore, making me like kind of turn blind to the fact that she looked like she may have been raised in a crystal meth lab. Maybe. She had like a tramp stamp. It's like said tramp stamp. I was like, why does it say that? She's like, so I don't forget where I come from. I was like, all right. So we end up going in this bathroom having sex, and I gotta be honest, you know, I had a whole policy of not kissing and telling. It was gross. I felt like I was dissecting a fucking squid or something. It smelled like sea life. I was like, oh. And so that kind of like disillusioned me real quick. I was like, damn, I left with Swamp Thing, you know? And she's like, okay, I'm gonna go work now. And she like snapped her she like cracked her knuckles. She's like, I'm gonna go work. I was like, what does that mean? I'm gonna go suck someone's dick so we can get money, babe. I was like, huh? I was like, I thought we were boyfriend and girlfriend. She's like, huh? I thought we were just met at rehab and we're like gonna go on some crazy drug bender together. And that was it. I mean, strike three, you know, squid smelling vagina, rehab goggles off, and then she's a fucking lot lizard. I was like, I'm good. I can't do this. I'm sorry. I gotta go back to rehab. I need help. She's like, you're a bitch. I was like, whatever, I'm gone. And I left. And that was that. I think maybe without, I don't know. I left with so many different girls, so many different times at this particular rehab. I don't even remember how that one ended, to be honest. But I know that I was instantly turned off by her right there and then. For some reason, I remember running with her down the sidewalk. And it was like this liberation. This sudden gust of freedom. And that's where this part comes from. Weather is really cold outside, even on a summer night in San Francisco. I attribute this to the MDMA wearing thin. We're tattered and holding hands running down the street. 38 Smith & Wesson covered by half my sleeve. She has the butterfly wings thrashing in the wind. 5 blocks from the party, Blair is breathless. What are we doing? I put my LA hat on backwards so I can kiss her. Please put the gun away, she says. I need it, baby girl. I'm on the run from the feds, she whispers. Put it away. It's going to be okay, Blair. I'm going to protect you. No, it isn't. Not now. This is bad. Look, and grab her face. It's me and you versus the world. And we're going to win, okay? We hold each other and kiss. We'll find a motel, I say. That's our first move. Then we'll figure out what we're going to do once our heads stop spinning from the acid. San Francisco has an incredible warm energy. Late drunken mother's warmth tucking you into the timelessness of the city. So, of course, the story I just told you, leaving rehab with her, was not me leaving on acid with a rave princess that's actually hot, and me having a Smith & Wesson and us being on the run from the feds. It wasn't like that, but like I want to try to express the fact that when I was on drugs, I had these like grandiose delusions like that, where I thought that like what I was doing went beyond what I was actually doing. I'm not a dope fiend just running away from rehab with some lot lizard hooker. I'm the hero in some story, because that's how I thought in my mind. And, you know, and drug addicts should be able to relate to that. We come to a street with taxi cabs, holding each other and hailing one down. An Islamic shadow sits in the driver's seat. That's so xenophobic, Jesus Christ. The buzzing heater feeling good. Good enough that I decide to just light a Newport. This was a reckless move on all fronts. This guy is wearing a turban and has motor oil complexion. It's probable that he's just left a fucking Hamas boot camp strapped with incendiary devices and tattooed passages from the Quran. Alex got CNN. The acid secures these fears. His accent is completely malevolent. So when he says, "No smoke, peas, man," that sounds ridiculous. I wrote this like 10 years ago. I employ diplomacy and I toss it out the window. Blair bites my ear and tells me that she loves me. I'm searching the floor with an alarm clock with dynamite. "Where to?" he asks. "A cheap motel anywhere," I say. I voted for Gore, by the way. "Anywhere, eh?" Al Gore, he likes windmills and shit. He wanted peace with you guys. No idea what I was trying to say there, but... Sunset Motel, the ends flickering out, HBO, and $39.99 a night, Korean woman behind the desk, same short, grouchy bitch working every motel lobby in the country. "No smoke," she say. "Need photo identification. If no cash deposit, need 2-form ID. That's terrible dialogue. Alright, she tells us that we can't have pets or visitors either. Same twinkle bankers have when they peddle adjustable mortgages. The motel room is typically grimy. We're going to get to something a little more exciting than this. Hold on. The motel room is typically grimy. Old Testament verses by the phone. Lifeless semen crusted on the bed. There's a free 24-hour porno channel. I try to watch porn, but Blair gets mad. The room is oddly bright from the LSD. She changes the television to an infomercial about abandoned pets. There's an unreasonably sad Sarah McLachlan song. These puppies and kittens have the saddest faces I've ever seen. Frowning behind black and stoic eyes, we're sitting there holding each other. "This is way better than porn," I whisper. Blair starts crying, which makes me start crying too. "Maybe we should have sex," I suggest. "I have to change this shit," Blair says. "I think that'd be a good idea." I'm hoping for porn, but instead it's another infomercial, this time about kids with cleft lips in third world countries, which is actually much sadder than the kitten thing. Juxtaposed 8-year-olds with snarled and mangled lips. They have chins folding into their noses. For just $1 a day, they won't look this way anymore. A small contribution to forever change a child's life. This is free enterprise in its most tasteless form. The commercial ends, thank God, but then it starts right up again. This is most likely the result of some late-night deal. The television network broker, The Loop, was probably prorated and included into the package in an effort to reach the sort of unique demographic that would be awake at 3 a.m. and be willing to donate for cosmetic surgery in Tunisia. Oh my God, Blair cries. This is so sad. I don't tell her that these kids are giving me a bad trip. I'm not trying to appear insensitive. Instead, I go to the bathroom and I yell that I'm taking a shit. We all know what I'm actually doing. I sit on the toilet and cook a handsome shot. It's hard to see my arm because everything is melting. My eyes filled with tears from the deformed Tunisians. So it's a lot of guest prodding, which makes me bleed. Acid makes it sting more than normal, too. My leaking arm looks like Carrie. "You okay in there?" Blair asks. Out of desperation, I skin pop the shot. This is in the butt cheek and ignites considerable pain. "You've been in there a really long time," she yells. "I'm just shitting," I say coolly. "Happens to everyone, babe." I wake up naked the next day. Blair comes out of the bathroom with a wrapped towel. "You shouldn't take acid anymore," she says. I'm totally not compatible with tripping anymore. She shakes wet hair into her towel. That is an understatement. Did we, I point to my bare crotch, did we bone? No, she laughs. We didn't bone. You passed out with a needle in your arm on the toilet. I had to come and take it out. I threw you in the shower. If you want any sort of future between us, you're going to have to kick. I will not be with a heroin addict. Baby, I want a future with you. But let's talk about it later. I had a really long night. Oh, you had a long night? You do realize that I'm the one that got beat up in front of 1 million people? I'm the one that the DEA is after? And I just ran away from my friends and dogged to be with the guy who's hopelessly addicted to heroin? So why don't we talk now? Because I'm just a little fucking worried about the future. She's red and crying. I'm dope sick, so I genuinely don't care. Oh, okay. I say I'll kick the dope. When? With opiates, you have to taper down. You can't just quit cold turkey all at once. I have a really big habit, honey. I can't just quit cold turkey. Save it, Damien. Spare me the bullshit, okay? I'm suddenly taken by a wash of panic. Where are my pants? I jump out of bed and run to the bathroom. I flushed it, she says. It was the only way. I actually say something like, fuck. Who are you? I cry. You're a fucking stranger. How could you do this to me? I did it for us. You're a selfish slut. I'll never be able to be with you if you put that before me. I'm banging against the wall. Withdrawals are going to kill me. If you really cared about me, you wouldn't make me suffer like this. Baby, you're beautiful and talented and wonderful. Shut the fuck up. I feel like my skin is crawling off of me. It hurts. You're hurting me. You are fucking hurting me, Blair. Blair runs to the nightstand, grabbing my dope from a drawer. She's crying when I snatch it out of her hands. But like, who cares, right? I lock myself in the bathroom. I'm cozy high when I return to Blair. She's curled up in the fetal position on the bed. This is an absolutely beautiful creature. Even with the bruised face and running tears, I try to hug her, but she swats my arm away. Although she says, go away, I know that she secretly wants me. Honey, I say. Seriously, leave me alone. I tell her that I'm sorry. This is with the Simon Birch wheeze. Overly raspy from all the smack. You know that this is going into, you knew this going into this. You knew what I was struggling with this addiction. This isn't something I'm going to win overnight, sugar baby bear. God, she says, you should hear how disgusting you sound right now. I love you. You don't even try to stop. I will, though. I'm going to give it up for you. I rub her shoulders. I'm so in love with you. You're going to have to prove that to me, Blair says. In the morning, Blair leaves to get breakfast. I masturbate to pornography while I check my voicemail. I'm watching a boss and secretary type scenario. My first message is a few minutes of static anyway. It seems as though everyone at the office has gone home. It seems except of course for the hot redhead with the young boss. Second message sounds like it's from Alex, but it cuts out quickly. The hot secretary drops a stapler in front of the young boss, then she casually asks if he would mind sticking it in her butt. This is in a very calm monotone, which strikes me as unrealistic. From my experience, women never politely request anal sex. Predictably, the young boss hikes her skirt up and starts humping. This is suddenly complemented by some sort of offbeat jazz funk. Sass is on the next message. I'm going to murder you, you junkie faggot. He's slurring because I knocked his teeth out with the revolver. When someone thinks they're brave because they shout toughly on a voicemail message, they're considered a voicemail warrior. The problem with Sass is that he now has a lisp. How seriously can you take threats from a lisped villain? I press 3 and delete his ramblings. Redhead is now licking his boss's asshole over a desk. Male analinguists is considered taboo even in the porn industry. I'm immediately concerned about my surroundings. Just what kind of bootleg fucking establishment am I staying at? Motel living is sweet and simple. Days spent smack back watching I Love Lucy. Hours feel like forever when forever is just a concept. It's been a lot of sexless kissing. Not until you're clean, Damien. Okay, sweetie, I say cheerfully. Possible reasons we aren't having sex yet. Screaming when I try to shit because of painful constipation. blackened abscess on my forearm that smells like burnt hair, blood stains on the bed sheets from open drug sores, daily vomiting that resembles spoiled dairy, offensive disregard for basic hygiene expectations. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead is on TV. Alex and Angie call from a blocked number. I meant to press ignore because I thought it might be sass. But black tar heroin significantly affects your hand-eye coordination. Alex tells me they're in Utah. We got married, bro. Jesus, I say. Yeah, we did in Vegas after we left the party. Angie's my wife. She's in the background. Hi, Damien. We talked to Chad, and we know what happened. You guys good? We're fine, just laying low in a motel. Sass called Angie, and he was trying to get her to double-cross you guys. He said that he's going to murder you whenever he catches up with you. That's if I don't get to him first, I say. Do you guys have felony? Yeah, she was the ring bearer at our wedding. The dude that married us sold me a ring, and we wrapped it around her neck with this big red bow. It was really cute. I laugh. It was really cute. His voice suddenly gets deeper. Yeah, that's what I said, queer. Alex tells me that they send their love to Blair. What's the big picture look like, he asks. I think we should all meet up here. Then we can leave the bay together. I'm thinking Colorado, Alex asks. I know some people there. Jay that used to live with that autistic chick I was fucking last summer, the glassblower guy. He moved out to Boulder. He bought some property and has a studio in this backyard. I saw pictures of it on Facebook. It's a sweet setup. I think we should all go there. We just won't tell him we're coming. That way, he can't say no. That's fine. I think we should go back through Santa Barbara, get some more of our stuff and some money. Then we'll head out to Boulder. You guys need to get here as quickly as possible. Blair starts rubbing my stomach. Look, Alex, I love you, but I gotta go right now. He's heading back to California anyway. Blair won't let me fuck her. Motel life is a messy lifestyle. There's an inevitable despondency. There is an inevitable dependency on junk food. A growing relationship with gas station employees. The very pushers who sell us daily rations of trans fat. Our room becomes haunted with wrapper debris, Fun Dips, sunflower seeds, Slim Jims, Cool Ranch Doritos, Skittles, Twinkies, Newport 100s, Corn Nuts, Camelites, bagels, and beer cans. We look great despite our poor diet. The raccoon eyes have faded to a watercolor blue. My upper abs and obliques have sexy definition. Blair's face is functionally abused. Bruises that can be covered with tan bronzer. Are you even listening to me, Blair asks. I had fallen asleep drooling. I was listening. It's time for you to stop. You're a complete wreck. Stop what? Loving you? Impossible. I'm being serious, Damien. I told you it's a process. It doesn't happen all at once. It's been 2 weeks. Dude, it could take like 2 years. Babe, I've been plenty patient with you. It's time to quit. Flush and go through the pain for me. Aren't I worth it? You're absolutely worth cleaning up for, I say. But kicking heroin's brutal. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. I don't want to suffer. We'll get through it together. She kisses my stomach. I'll flush it, I say. Yeah? Tomorrow. Do it now, she says softly. For me. I grab my bag of dope and I walk to the bathroom. It's I love you before flushing the toilet. I've done this before. The toilet paper Monty. The fake flushing of drugs down the toilet. This has always been a last resort effort to appease the probation officer, family member, or concerned friend. The trick is hiding the drugs as quickly as possible. Motels have toilet paper rolls that are wrapped in wax paper. They usually have 2 or 3 rolls next to the toilet or sink. Flush twice to move in secrecy during the roaring interval. Unwrap the roll and strategically place it in the bottom of the stack. This makes the drugs accessible anytime you need to use the bathroom, which, if you're faking a kick, can be more often than normal. The most important part is the post-flush theatrics. A splash of toilet water on your face will look like tears. Then all you have to do is put your hands on your head and say, I can't believe I just did that. I'm so proud of you, baby, Blair says. That was a huge step for us. She grabs my hand and pulls me into the bedroom. I love you, she tells me. Her shirt comes down to her maroon bra. She has her eyes closed when I rub her naked body. The penetration is loving and slow. This is what people call making love. We smoke cigarettes naked in the dark, our bodies illuminated by late night TV, loving each other because we say it a lot. I go to the bathroom to take a shit. The next few days are filled with great sex. I can feel the love whenever I'm inside her. It's super rad. But I'm kicking, so there are frequent trips to the bathroom. I fill the plastic motel cup with sink water and dump it into the toilet. Bruh, I'm so sick. I don't want you to see me this way. This is why I have the belt dangled around my arm looking for a vein. I'm down to my last needle and it's becoming dull and barbed. It rips my flesh, which is another issue altogether. Sometimes it takes 15 minutes for the wounds to stop leaking. Baby, are you okay? Blair asks. Diarrhea from withdrawal, I yell. It's fucking disgusting, honey. Then when we make love, I can't come because of the heroin high. I have to fake orgasm, which consists of spitting on her back. Oh yeah. But the whole thing feels magical because of love. Then Angie and Alex show up. True Romance is on HBO again. Angie says that they got some killer fizz in Salt Lake. Felony's on Blair's lap, licking her face. What kind, she asks. Don't know, Angie says. They don't even have a logo on them. They're red and white. We have a few of them in the van. The guy that sold them to Alex said they were double stacked. They're hella good, girl. Ange, there's no such thing as double stacked. I don't know how many times we're going to have to go through this. Double stacked, triple stacked. It's all the same pills pressed differently so that people can sell boats for more. Before they arrived, I shut the last of the dimes I had purchased in Selena's. I did 3 at once because it's at the end of the bag. I have no legitimate excuse for the excess, other than when drug addicts get to the end of their supply, they tend to overdo things. I'm much higher than usual, nodding out while they argue about ecstasy. How hippie Dave said this and said that. And it said whatever on Arrowwood. MDMA is stacked based on buffer density, Blair says. By the time my eyes have closed completely, Blair wakes me up with the pill. She's sliding it into my mouth. Here, chew, baby. Chew. The pill tastes really bitter as I fall back asleep. I wake up to an ecstasy high. Angie is sitting on the bed next to me. Are you horny? I look at Blair, who is on the floor petting her dog. She has really big eyes, and Alex comes in her room shirtless. You horny, bro? He asks. No, wait, he didn't say it like that. You horny, bro? He asks me. I tell him that I'm not. I'm confused from the E. He starts rubbing Angie and she purrs. She has a sexual expression on her face. Open mouth with teeth pushed forward from sharp pleasure. Angie tells Blair that she should rub me, and she gets on the floor. She awkwardly brushes up against me and we rub each other. She makes soft noises similar to when we make love. Angie tells her that she should suck me off in front of them. I can tell she doesn't want to, and it really turns me on. Then I'm tugging the back of Blair's hair, fucking her face in front of them. Angie is getting really into it, and she says she wants to lick something. This sends me over the top, and I explode in Blair's mouth. She gasps and chokes and stares at Angie in a daze. There's sperm dribbling out of her mouth. Alex starts moving in on me. Whoa, I say. I don't want this turning into a group sex thing. Angie and Alex look disappointed. Blair looks relieved. I take her to the side of the bed so we're out of view. On the carpet, I fuck her instead of making love. For once, she has her eyes open, watching. There's this feeling that things are about to get really bad. And that is the end of chapter 9. I can't hear any applauds. I'm sure you're doing it while you're watching, though. Oh, man. All right. So, anyway. So there's a little short story. I've told it before, I think, and I don't want to say who it was, but I do need to say because it was very weird. So Jenny and I, when we first started dating, remember, she was my parents' grandparents' neighbor, right? And she was 5 years older than me, and she was more like the old kind of hippie neighbor that I would go and snot coming out of my fucking nose. Hold on. She was like the kind of neighbor, it was like older hippie girl, go over there and smoke bowls with her. I'm usually the kind of guy that hits on girl, like that's just what kind of dude I am. I mean, I don't really have a lot of restraint, right? And I don't know why I didn't hit on Jenny from the get-go. I think I didn't even look at it as a possibility. I looked at her as like 5 years older than me and just a hippie girl. I was like, her pussy probably stinks too. It probably smells like beef jerky or something. No. I don't know why I didn't hit on her, because you would think that it would be an ideal situation for me, her being my neighbor's granddaughter, somebody that would be around me all the time. If you're going to hook up with someone, you want it somebody that's in a close proximity to you. Then there was that night where I got beat up at the bar because my friend had stolen that handle of alcohol, tried to offer to the bartender, didn't realize it was the bartender I was offering it to, and I got jumped, and then it turned into this big brawl, and then she had to tend to my wounds. I went in, I kissed her, we had sex, and that was that. Past that point, we were inseparable. Now, in the beginning of our relationship, I don't know how much I've gone into what that looked like, but she worked at Trader Joe's. She had just gotten back from Vegas, and she had just dated this really big weed dealer guy. They were together for 4 or 5 years. Now she was living with her grandparents while she was getting back on her feet. She was working at Trader Joe's so she could stack some money. She drank a lot. She was a party girl. She drank, she went out to bars, whatever. She liked blow, but I never liked snorting blow. That wasn't my thing. I liked in high school, but by that point I was into shooting it and I was into smoking it. I was like, snorting it just didn't do much for me. So before we had ever even hooked up, she hung out with this attorney. She had this girlfriend that was an attorney, and her husband was an attorney too. It was 2 attorneys. They loved doing coke, and she would get it off me. She asked me, she's like, hey, can you get cocaine? I was like, yeah. So I started hooking them up, right? When I went to that Pink Floyd show and I got the ecstasy, remember I met Damon. He gave me $3,000 worth of drugs for fake DMT, and that essentially started my drug dealing career. During that period, we were already boyfriend and girlfriend. And we did coke together. She'd be snorting it. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to do a line too. Here, I'm just going to take in the bathroom with me. I'd come out hearing helicopters fucking chopping away. No, I'm good. Yeah. And then I'd peek out the blinds. We end up, because she was bisexual, right? I did not know that in the beginning of the relationship. We end up going to that Halloween party that I told you about with that couple that we were friends with. Now, this is one detail that I've left off YouTube, I think, because I didn't feel comfortable talking about it, but I'll do it right now just because you guys fucks with you guys. We end up going to this Pimp and Hoe party. I've talked about it before. This is where I met Sass and his partner, the guy with all the colored tattoos. It wasn't even his partner. It was just one of his roommates at this mansion that they rented. When we get to this Pimp and Hoe party, all the girls are dressed up like hoes. All the guys are dressed up like pimps. I was dressed up as an informant. I had a wire duct taped around my chest, and I was going around I was like, hey, I can get some pot? Fuck it, what's up? And I was just people, and everyone would give me drugs because they thought it was funny. When we get there was a girl named Kelly that was, there was this couple that sold coke that lived there. That's how we got invited. And that Pimp and Hoe party was an exclusive party just for drug dealers, and we were just starting off. When we got there, this girl, Kelly, was going around and they had ecstasy pills that were in like a little glass bowl. You know how they have like those little heart candies that are like heart-shaped? They put like the little heart-shaped, whatever they're called. They give them to you for Valentine's Day and says like, I love you, be my honey, whatever. It was like that, but these were ecstasy pills that looked like that. And it was like for this particular night. They were like, I don't know, just what they had. So right when you walk into this party, they dose you. I got dosed with ecstasy and I also got dosed with acid that night. I was with Jenny. Like I said, we're dating. We do coke once in a while. We'd never done ecstasy together. We weren't like that wild yet. I had more threesomes with her than anybody I've ever been with. Like epic, like, you know, Guinness Book of World Record type threesomes. And there's like 3 midgets. They're like, yo, we're all the same size. Let's fuck. I'm like, all right. So I dose with ecstasy. And then shortly thereafter, somebody gives me acid. So I'm candy flipping. I'm taking both. Now, the ecstasy kicks in before the acid. I don't know what was up with it. It was press pills. Like I said, this little heart-shaped press pills. I don't know why. But I just got overtaken with horniness. Like, you know, I was like, gonna legally sex offend. Like, who wants to see my cock? Fuck it. I was just horny. I could not believe, I was like, oh. I like wanted to take my clothes off. You know, I was like, I don't know if I've ever been that horny in my life. And see, it kind of reminded me of shooting meth, right? But even worse, it was like gnarlier than that. So I was like, Jenny? She's like, yeah. I was like, I need my dick sucked right now. She's like, huh? I was like, I can't wait another minute. I need my dick sucked. If you don't suck my dick, I'm just going to go in this other room and I'm going to beat off. I don't give a fuck. What up? She's like, okay, yeah, I'll suck your dick. I was like, all right, yeah, let's go. You're my girlfriend. You should suck my dick. We end up going into this bedroom. This is the couple that lived there. This is like their bedroom. I take my pants off and I get on my knees. So it's like some weirdo shit. I'm like just sitting there with my on my knees on the bed. And she comes in there and she's like kind of being all timid and I just grab her, I grab her head and shove it down there. I'm not even like that normally. I was just on some aggro, predatory ecstasy shit. I was like, yeah, fucking suck it. I'm like, oh, I want to get one of those hats with beers on each side. I'm a frat boy now, yeah. It's just some piece of shit. No, she liked it though. She thought it was, she told me that later. She said, I was so turned on that night. You were just an animal. So I'm on my knees and she's giving me head. This couple comes in and they just start watching. A dude and a girl, right? Now, I'm joke a lot, but I'm heterosexual. I have nothing against gay people, but I'm not into dudes. Just doesn't do anything for me. I wish it did. I'd never go to jail. I'd be a gay junkie whore. 100%. But it just does, it's not my thing. And I would say I was past the homophobic stage in my life, but he's watching me it's damn fool. I was and I'm just looking down at her. And so then the girl says to Jenny, she's like, hey, I like to lick stuff sometimes too. And I was like, whoa, time out. I don't want this turning into a group sex thing. I'm sorry. And I remember, it was yesterday, that they just had this look of grave disappointment, you know? I think that they wanted to have some foursome, Pornhub level, couple swap, where she was gonna go down on Jenny and then maybe me and him were gonna butt fuck and be yeah. Who knows what they were thinking, but I was not with it at all. And Jenny was disappointed. She told me a couple years later, she's like, fuck, I really wanted that girl to go down on me that night. I think about it all the time when I'm in the bathtub. I was like, don't tell me shit like that, ew. She's like, sometimes it makes me fart and it bubbles out. No, she didn't say that. But yeah, she did tell me that she, would fantasize about that, whatever. I didn't know, but to be honest, it was more the dude. I was weirded out by that. And then also, I think that I may minimize like how jealous of a guy I am, but I'm jealous. Like, I'm even jealous of girls hooking up with girlfriends that I have. I think that that's like, there was a period where like I would get even more jealous over that specifically because it was like, they have something I don't have. I don't have a vagina. I don't think. Maybe. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I get in my vagina, but I don't have one. So that's where that story came from. I had to like, there's a lot of that. So that chapter, you see how that worked. The 3-card Monte that I would do where I would go in the bathroom and I would pretend like I was dope sick. And I would get like the little cup that you would get at the hotel, fill it up with sink water. I wouldn't even fill it up with sink water. I'd fill it up with toilet water and I would just pour it and like start, I'd be like, oh, I'm so sick. And I'd be like shooting up. That was with Jenny and that's also been with Karina. That's a trick that I employed when I'd be trying to conceal my addiction, throughout the years, because there was that period, I've told you about it before, where Jenny desperately wanted to get me off heroin. And she would call my drug dealers and she would tell them that if they kept serving me, that she was going to call the police and let them know that they were my drug dealers. She would search me. It got to a point where she would search my pockets every time I went to the bathroom. And what I would do is I would just keister it. I'd stick the syringe up my ass. I'd stick a portable phone up my ass, just in case there was an emergency. No, I didn't do that. But I stuck a syringe and I stuck the spoon. It was like one of those bent spoons. And I'd like shove all this shit in a condom. So yeah, I was fucking packing heat up my ass. And I'd be like, yeah, you can search me, go ahead. She'd search me, she wouldn't find it. And then I would do what I was talking about in the book. I'd fill up the cup, make it sound like I was having like explosive diarrhea. Shh, shut up. And, I would get it off. So I think that, hopefully that shows you like what my process of writing fiction is. I take real life experiences, I blend them into fiction. It's not even fiction. It's just like kind of rearranging the order, I'd say pretty much everything in that particular section, except for running down the street with a gun. I've never done that. I've never like run down like a busy city street like in San Francisco with a 38. I've never been with a girl that's been on the run from the feds. Well, I guess Jenny, but no, not really the feds. But you see, it's like, that's why I say that the book is 80% true. And the 20% that's not true, like usually it's stuff that has to do with Damien being a musician. And then kind of like consolidating characters, like having a bunch of girls together to be Blair, having a bunch of cock blocks together to be Sass, shit like that. But yeah, so that's that. That is chapter 9 of Wasting Talent. I'm tired, but I definitely wanted to get a video in. I'm glad that I did. I always feel better after I do it. I'm like, yes, I got one in. I do appreciate you guys. Let's try to do another video tomorrow, and I will see you guys soon. Palabra.